Starting my day in not the best way, our air conditioner has been leaking apparently all night long. Usually the condensation drips outside of the room, but it looks like this unit is dripping inside instead. So we're heading down to the front desk to see if a maintenance person will come in and get it fixed before it does any real damage. The front desk said we can either wait for maintenance to fix the AC or move into another room, so we did the second option and switched rooms. After doing that, we had breakfast and then headed out to explore more of Key West. We didn't have much luck yesterday with the free Duval Loop bus service, but we're trying it again this morning. This is a free bus line that loops on and around Duval Street from one end of the island to the other. The good thing about this service is you can track the bus, so we walked up to the bus stop just before the bus arrived, so no waiting. The bad thing is there's no set schedule, and there could be 2 buses running. Just one bus, or just like yesterday, no bus at all. But then again, it's free. After a 10-minute ride in the nice cool air conditioning, I'm on the Gulf of Mexico side of Key West. Hey guys, it's Emily. Welcome everyone! I'm in Key West for one more day. I'll be mostly in the entertainment district around the Gulf of Mexico side of Duval Street. I'll try out some more tasty treats, check out this part of the city, and see what today brings. It's gonna be another tropical and humid day in the southernmost city in the lower 48. Let's go! This is definitely the area of Key West if you want to do some shopping, see a museum, or go to a bar or restaurant. It's not busy now, but it will be very busy later this evening. Over here is the Mel Fisher Maritime Museum. Mel Fisher spent much of his life searching for sunken treasure in the waters near the Florida Keys. His biggest discovery was the Spanish Galena Nuestra Senora de Atocha in 1973, worth about $450 million at the time. Check out this combination boat and raft just outside the museum. The raft traveled from Cuba to Key West in 2015. It carried 24 people and was powered by a pickup truck's motor. In the same year, nearly 10,000 Cubans arrived on the raft and made it to U.S. soil. Those refugees are called baseros. The markers over here mention the journey is extremely difficult and many did not survive the journey due to dehydration, shark attacks, storms, and too many people in a small raft causing it to capsize. This marker is a little hard to read, but near this marker was where the home of Stephen Russell Mallory stood. He was a U.S. Senator in the 1850s and Secretary of Navy for the Confederacy in the 1860s. This is the Custom House, now the Museum of Art and History. Over here are the shops at Mallory Square. There are a number of boutique stores, quick service restaurants, and small art galleries. This is some interesting trivia. They also boast the only upward escalator in Key West. The building itself is Key West's oldest brick structure and was built as a naval station when it was completed in 1861. In 1932, the 7th Lighthouse District, a unit of the U.S. Coast Guard, opened in this building. Take a look at this old church. It looks like it's been through quite a lot. I'm gonna get a closer look. This is a wrecking or a workboat named Mary. This boat is actually a replica of a boat owned by Charles Tipp, one of the early settlers of Key West. Wrecking is taking valuables like gold and silver from a shipwrecked boat. This was a lucrative industry in the last half of the 19th century. Near the ship replica is the Shipwreckers Museum, which details this industry and its importance after the founding of Key West. This is an interesting marker. On April 18, 1982, the U.S. Border Patrol established a roadblock, and people were required to show proof of U.S. citizenship before going onto the mainland. In response, Key West mockingly declared its independence and called itself the Conch Republic. Key West has a popular trolley service which takes you around the city. Over here is a shell warehouse. I guess they have shells there. This morning I'm visiting the Key West Aquarium. I've seen aquariums in many different locations throughout the country, so I'm going to check this one out in Key West. This is Florida's oldest aquarium. It opened in 1935 as part of a program to create jobs during the Great Depression. It displays many species of water creatures found in Key West. When it opened, the aquarium didn't have a roof, and local artists painted murals and drew inspiration from fishermen in the dry Tortugas. This marker says the murals have been recreated and are reminiscent of a special time in Key West history. There's a large tube with what looks like coral and some beautiful fish swimming in it. There are many different types of shells here, and it looks like there are a couple of starfish in here. There are also a cluster of sea urchins, and they're very small, but have dozens of spikes. The aquarium has two large pools. One looks like it has sharks, and the other looks like it has turtles, stingrays, and smaller fish. This isn't a big aquarium, but it does have several exhibits. Look at the box on the top of the screen. This turtle has a small box on top of its shell. I wonder why. The second pool has a number of sharks. They will have a shark feeding later on, but right now all the sharks are clustered together asleep. Here's a view from the back of the aquarium, looking at the front door. The indoor aquarium has north and south galleries. In the south gallery are some exhibits to the offshore environmental experience. There are probably 15 or so exhibits on this side. So let's take a look at some of those exhibits to see these water creatures. I thought we were sure the shark lying on its back is dead, but thankfully that shark woke up and started swimming. Looks like a couple of sharks have woken up. They must be getting hungry. The North Gallery features exhibits related to the ecosystem of the Florida Keys. I'll check that out in a minute, but it looks like a show is starting.
Every day, we see the sights of the world above the water, but quite to the contrary, life beneath the sea is totally in balance. When for the brief moments life becomes out of balance, nature quickly moves to bring that balance back into focus.
Well, that wasn't that big of a deal. So let's check out the other exhibits on the north side of the aquarium. Look at these turtle shells at the back of the end of the aquarium. Speaking of turtles, there's an outdoor part of the aquarium with a turtle habitat. The Key West Aquarium is home to a number of large sea turtles that can't be released back into the ocean. Kinda hard to see with the glare, but there's a very large turtle swimming down there. The United States Fish and Wildlife Service has determined that this and the other large turtles must be cared for by humans to survive. This one seems to like company. It's been staring at us since we came outside to look at it. Here are some smaller turtles in this glass enclosure. I'm not sure if these smaller turtles are also unable to be released back in the ocean. This looks like a more realistic habitat than the clear pools inside. It's probably because we're out in the open air instead of in a controlled closed area. Also back here is this mangrove, where some birds have made their home. This is kinda neat. The aquarium on the outside is somewhat integrated with the wildlife that's a part of Key West, so birds can fly in and out of here as they choose. Now back inside, there's a turtle in the pool with a little black box on its shell. I wonder if that's part of the rehabilitation program. I don't think it's a tracking device, or maybe it is. Oh, okay. Now I see that one of its legs has been removed, so I think that box helps the turtle move around.
Welcome to our stingray and shark conservation tour. So we're going to start out with this big oval pool, the white one in the middle, where we have Rocky here, but also two of our stingrays. So we're going to begin by trying to feed those guys at the end there. They're going to come on over soon. Now these guys, their names are Peanut Butter and Jelly. They are brothers, and they're cow-nose stingrays. They have that interesting shape of sort of front of their head, face, that kind of looks like that of a cow nose. That's how they got their name. Hello, buddy. There you go. You got, oh, the fish stole it from you. How dare they? That's okay. We got plenty. Here you go. There you go. So, these guys will be in deeper waters. In shallower waters, you can find rays like the spotted eagle ray, the yellow stingray, even the southern ray. So you always want to keep an eye out for those. It's very interesting to see in the wild. It's always good to keep an eye out on that. And I know a lot of people worry about stingrays, about being stung by them. So if you ever are concerned, you can do something called a stingray shuffle, which is shuffle your feet in the sand to let the stingray know, hey, I'm on my way, I'm coming over here. Because these guys, they do not want to sting you if they don't feel like they have to. They only do that because they feel like their life is in danger, they're feeling very threatened. So if you just let them know they're coming, they're going to swim away. Because they'd much rather do that than use that stinger. Because once it's also rays will be moving around all the time versus stingrays who actually sit in place, stay in one area. So, yeah, Bernard. He's also partially blind, so sometimes he has a hard time telling exactly where to aim. There you go. But you'll also notice that these guys, they eat from the bottom of their body, and that's because that's where their prey lives, at the bottom of the sea floor, the bottom of the ocean. One piece. There you go. So in fact, when they're born, they come out like little tacos all folded up. If that gives you an idea of how bendy they are. We actually have a pregnancy. If you guys would like to join me at this other oval pool right behind me, here we go. We're around sharks all the time, we're able to coax this pretty well. Sometimes people aren't too happy to hear about it, but we are able to be okay with sharks in the water generally. I grew up here, I spent a lot of time in the water, I still have all my arms and legs, so I think that's a good sign. Super exciting, right? So it's not a huge reaction. It's not a feeding frenzy like we see in TV shows. Usually in movies you'll see a single drop of blood hit and they roll their eyes in the back of their head and start thrashing around. These guys, not so much. Basically, we're right on top of them, not too much of a reaction. We guarantees them for them to know that there is a reward for feet away. And they're like college kids. If you don't guarantee their food, they're not going anywhere. So what we want to do is guarantee that. And I want you guys to listen for when one does come up to eat. Hello, Makai. Sorry, can I try to look at it? Yeah, that sound right there? Don't splash me. You gotta watch out for Lucille. She sometimes likes to splash me. That sound right there, that was her buccal muscle. That's an extremely powerful muscle inside of her mouth that lets her get suck her prey in. It's actually so strong she can get a queen conch right out of its shell. It's very powerful. There we go. My cat's a bit gentler. She's younger though too. And here you go, buddy. It's also the same muscle that we have in our mouths that lets us get a really thick milkshake out of a cup. So if you can imagine that in your mouth, that's what they're using. It's also the same muscle that they white your whale sharks. They swim and breathe, they're around ventilators, and they do that because they're the great oceanic travelers. They're swimming all the time anyway. They're constantly on the move. So it makes more sense and it's more energy efficient for them to swim and breathe. These guys have a line along the side of their body that allows them to sense pressure changes in the water. It's how the fish are able to school without bumping into each other all the time. It's also why it's so hard to sneak up on sharks. They can feel you coming even if they can't see you coming. But other people have some of them. There we go.
Now back inside after that show, and I think the two turtles want some privacy. So now I'm gonna head on out and make my exit through the gift shop. I cannot film in there, but it's mostly souvenirs, shirts, and stuff you'd expect. Behind the aquarium is the Mallory Square market. In the afternoons, this area gets very busy as they have a sunset celebration here. Here's a fisherman, and it looks like he's been fishing for sponges. You remember in the last episode about the sponging industry over 100 years ago in the Keys? A few souvenirs for sale back here. This is a nice, large, open area, plenty of room for the hundreds, if not thousands of people that visit here to see the sun setting over Sunset Key. Over here are several markers for the historical military memorial. This is a piece recovered from the wreckage of the battleship the USS Maine. The marker says this is its forward 10-inch gun turret, salvaged from the wreckage of the Maine. Each major war was represented here, including this region's war on piracy, where pirates robbed many ships and murdered their crewmen. Also recognized as the Second Seminole War, the bloodiest of the Seminole Wars, which were a response to the Seminole Indian tribe being forcibly removed from Florida. Then there's a marker for the Civil War, and it describes Key West's role in that war, and new forts that were constructed, including East Martello, which I saw yesterday. Next is the Spanish-American War, a significant war in Key West history, likely started by the sinking of the Maine in nearby Havana Harbor. Then World War I, also significant for Key West, with the opening of the naval station. Thomas Edison assisted with developing underwater weapons in Key West. Then World War II, where two German attacks on vessels occurred just 12 miles from Key West, resulting in the Navy setting up their Gulf Sea headquarters here. Now a marker for the Cold War, Key West became a major naval hub. Harry S. Truman made many working vacations, and the Department of Defense was formed here. Then the Cuban Missile Crisis, where Key West played a critical role in preventing nuclear war in 1962. Next, the Maria boat lift in 1980, where 125,000 Cuban refugees arrived in the U.S. Then the war on drugs, where the Coast Guard still works to prevent illegal drugs from entering the U.S. Finally, this map shows the notable places in and near Key West in all those wars I just mentioned. I didn't realize how critical Key West was in battling all those wars. I'm getting hungry, so I'm gonna get some conch fritters at the Conch Shack. I was disappointed by the conch fritters at the restaurant yesterday, but this restaurant says they have the best ever conch fritters. That's a pretty bold statement, so I'll definitely give them a try. And this is what we're dealing with. I got 1 dozen conch fritters. They're bigger than the ones from yesterday. They gave us a couple of key lime wedges and some sweet and spicy sauce, and also their take on the key lime aioli. I'm waiting for them to cool down a little bit. I broke open one of them and you can see the batter. Looks like some chives, and I definitely see chunks of conch in these. So let's see how the conch fritters taste. So we're here at the Conch Shack to try their conch fritters. Hopefully they're better than yesterday's. Oh, I can't pick it up. Try the key lime. He really wants something. Sorry, I've never seen a chicken stretch before. That was so weird. The leg went out like that. The sauce is definitely better. But overall, I think these are actually better than the ones that we had last night. Because you can actually, oh, there's 2 fused together. You can actually tell that there's conch in here. And they're not like really, really mushy like the other ones were. I just can't get into the key lime aioli. To me, it just doesn't taste right. I enjoyed the sweet and spicy sauce. I think that gave the conch fritters a little kick. Overall, this is a really good place. I broke open another piece, and you can definitely see the conch pieces in there. I think the green pieces inside the fritters are celery, but these are really good. They cost $18 for a dozen, so the same price as the other place, and you get 12 of them instead of 8. And now I'm getting used to the key lime aioli. I think it's very good. It's not too busy right now along this part of Duval Street. I mentioned in my last video I'm visiting during a lull just before Key West Pride Week and after Memorial Day. Just a block away is Sloppy Joe's Bar. Sloppy Joe's officially opened the day after Prohibition was repealed in 1933 and moved to this location in 1937. Ernest Hemingway was a frequent guest, and he met his third wife here. Close to Sloppy Joe's is my next stop, the Key Lime Pie Bakery. I went to Kermit's yesterday, so today I'm gonna try this place. I heard this is where key lime pie was invented. And it says so on the sign right next to the door, the birthplace of key lime pie, back in 1856. And my mom was very happy. She wanted us to come on in. They have a good sized store here with lots of tasty treats, like key lime tea cookies, and then over here are lime straws. I really wanted to bring home a few boxes of these. Down here, key lime candy. That looks tasty. I wonder what this tastes like. Key lime tea. I've heard of lemon tea, but not key lime tea. Down here are key lime jelly beans, key lime tarts, more tea, and key lime saltwater taffy. So much candy. Now this is dangerous. I can make my own key lime muffins. That has to be delicious. Key lime pecans. Candy crusted pecans with key lime flavor. They also have bottles of key lime juice for sale, so you can make your own pies, or maybe just drink it straight out of the bottle. They're running a special this week. Buy a 2023 calendar for just $4.95, and you get some key lime chocolate for free. Do you think that's a good deal? Except for key lime lemonade. I guess this is just lemonade and key lime powder mixed together. That might be refreshing. They also sell lots of key lime candles, and I have a feeling if I light one of these, I'll get hungry for some key lime pie. So I was sitting outside, and I was about to try this beautiful looking key lime pie. It has a very thin crust, and the filling is perfect, lightly brown along the edge, and just a little bit of whipped cream. So we're here at the Key Lime Pie Bakery, and we've got regular key lime pie. We've also got the chocolate dip key lime pie, which I'm going to try in a minute. See how this one compares to Kermit's. This one tastes exactly the same. Yeah, exactly the same as Kermit's. Next is their take on the chocolate dip key lime pie. I can tell right away that there is less chocolate on their pie, but let's give it a taste. Now I'm going to try the chocolate dip key lime pie. I'll just throw it at myself. Again, exactly the same as Kermit's. And just like Kermit's, this one's definitely more tart than the I want to say frozen one. I'd say if you go to either Kermit's or Key Lime Pie Bakery, you'll get some really good key lime pie. So my final judgment for this classic piece of key lime pie, I would give a slight edge to Key Lime Pie Bakery, both for taste and the pie looks great. For the dipped chocolate version, I would give the edge to Kermit's because they use more chocolate. Now taking the long way back as we walk back to our hotel, this is the Audubon house. This building is allegedly haunted with the members of the Geiger family, who built this house in 1846. In 1960, the owners at the time dedicated this house as a public museum and is furnished with antiques from the mid-1800s and has original engravings. They offer tours of the house for $15 for adults and $10 for students as of the filming of this video. The Audubon house also is a great venue for weddings. According to their website, they can accommodate wedding parties of up to 100 guests in their garden area and 130 people for a reception. The Audubon house is not far from where I was earlier today, near the aquarium in Mallory Square in the old Key West area. Next to the Audubon house is the Audubon House store. They sell local artwork such as pottery, stained glass, and jewelry, as well as books, collectibles, and other items. Now I'm in what is called the Truman Annex, which looks like a very high-end section of Old Key West. The Truman refers to President Harry S. Truman, who spent 175 days of his presidency here. This house was built in 1890 as the first officers' quarters for the U.S. Naval Station. Numerous other U.S. presidents used this house from William Howard Taft to Bill Clinton. This house is considered to be the birthplaces of the U.S. Department of Defense and the U.S. Air Force, and used for many diplomatic summits. I have to think some of those summits involve going to some bars like Sloppy Joe's. I think this museum is open, but it looks like it's going through some renovations. The Truman Annex was redeveloped in the 1990s to resemble classic homes, condos, and hotels typically found in Key West. All these homes are so beautiful. They mostly have a white color with some bright colors for the shutters and lots of landscaping. Now back at the corner of Whitehead and Fleming Streets, and you may recognize this intersection from my video from a couple days ago. This is where the end, or the beginning, of US 1 is located. In the video, I stood next to the end US 1 sign. Today I'm in the opposite direction, standing next to the begin US 1 sign, as I will be making the journey back north tomorrow morning. And as promised in the earlier video, I will be checking out the end of the road souvenir shops at the intersection. The store directly in front of me has some art pieces for sale. Both of these stores have plenty of Mile Zero souvenirs. Interestingly, both stores have a similar paint color. Not far from that intersection is this very large tree, and the trunk is very unique. It kind of looks like a triangle. I've never seen a tree like that before. This is called the K-pop tree. It can grow to 130 feet tall, and is considered a sacred tree by the Mayan people who believe the souls of the dead climbed a mythical K-pop tree whose branches reached into heaven. The leaves fall once a year, and every few years, large but smelly bell-shaped flowers appear. Typically, K-pop trees grow in tropical rainforests. The wood from the trees is used to make furniture, and the soft seed covering is used in pillows and mattresses. The tree is in front of the Monroe County Courthouse. Now I'm heading back to Duval Street to another restaurant. There are all kinds of different stores here, lots of boutique stores, souvenirs, and little restaurants. I'm heading to one of those restaurants now to try another Key West specialty. I'm at DJ's Clam Shack, where northern and southern seafood meet. Note the sign on the bottom right. I'm going to try a lobster roll for the very first time. I heard this place has a delicious Maine lobster roll, so I'll be trying that. They also have clams, a shrimp roll, conch berries, cracked conch, and many different types of tacos such as mahi-mahi, shrimp, chicken, and roast pork. This restaurant was featured on Diners, Drivers, and Dives starring Guy Fieri. They say they have the freshest seafood in town. I like the cartoon logo they have. It's kind of cute. I've had Maine lobster before, but not in sandwich form. Check this out. Lots of lobster meat mixed with mayonnaise and celery and a large piece of grilled and buttered white toast. And if you think my lobster roll is filled up, check out this one. There's so much lobster meat on this roll. We also got a basket of sweet potato fries with some maple aioli. That should really taste good. So as you can tell, I'm not saying anything, and I'm really enjoying this lobster roll. We bought the 2 rolls to share with myself and my parents, but I ate this whole lobster roll by myself. Sorry, not sorry. It was just so good. Guy Fieri picked a winner here. I also really enjoyed the sweet potato fries, and the maple aioli goes really well with it. I highly recommend DJ's Clam Shack. Everything was very delicious, and when I return to Key West, I'll definitely come back here and get another lobster roll, or 2. Apparently this place has been featured in newspapers and magazines, and they highly recommend this restaurant. And they're proud that Guy Fieri paid him a visit. Alright, now that I've enjoyed a great late lunch, or maybe a midday snack, at DJ's Clam Shack, let's continue toward the Atlantic Ocean. This is the Rainbow Crosswalk, an LGBTQ+ landmark and a photo op, and nearby are businesses that cater to the LGBTQ+ community. Another place I was not able to go to on my visit is the Hemingway House. There are many six-toed cats that live there. This house was built in 1851 and was upgraded when Ernest Hemingway and his wife lived here in the 1930s. Hemingway wrote his most famous literary works here. Something else that was closed is the Key West Lighthouse. It's not very tall and there's only 88 steps to the top, but it has great views of the entire island and the ocean. This lighthouse was first lit in 1849. It was originally just 50 feet tall. In 1887, the tower was raised to 100 feet to be above all the newer construction and trees. The lighthouse remained in service until 1969. Today, the lighthouse, keeper's quarters, and the grounds are now a museum. Something else on my list the next time I visit Key West. In this quarter is the St. Stephen AME Zion Church, one of the few African Methodist churches in this area of Key West called Bahama Village. St. Stephen is recognized as the first Christian martyr who was stoned to death for his views on poverty and the role of the church. The building was constructed around the year 1900 with limestone and coral rock. Now it's almost sunset and I've decided against going to Mallory Square. 1, because the bus service is too random. 2, because it's gotten pretty cloudy, so the sunset won't be all that great. And 3, my dad has walked at least 4 miles on a bad foot. So we're on this pier on the Atlantic Ocean side, and this is a zoom in on the Naval Observatory. It's not accessible to civilians. It's also a little more southernmost than the southernmost point buoy. Then again, so is Bastille Key, which is 9 miles south of here. But that's no longer accessible to civilians either. Anyway, see, the clouds have rolled in and the sun has gone behind them. They call this the quiet side of the island for a reason. There are some people here, but nothing like Mallory Square on the other side. Hopefully next time I visit, I'll see that sunset in Mallory Square and celebrate with everyone else as the sun descends below Sunset Key. I think that's about it for the sunset. There's too much cloud cover, so time to head back to my hotel room after seeing one last thing. This house is the southernmost house in the United States. It's right next to the buoy, which I wanted to see one more time before I leave. I had a really great 2.5 days in the Florida Keys. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I missed quite a bit, and I'm already planning my next adventure down here. Next time I'm here, I definitely want to go to the Hemingway house and the lighthouse. Also, in my last video, I went to the cemetery and didn't do enough research before visiting. There are many more gravesites at that cemetery I'd like to see. Plus, I like to explore more of Key Largo, Isla Morada, and Marathon, visit Blue Hole when it's sunny, and, reluctantly, walk the 2-mile one-way trip on the old 7-mile bridge to Pigeon Key. And that's it for my Florida Keys adventure. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed visiting the Keys. I'm starting a new adventure just days after leaving the Keys. I'm taking my very first college course this summer, so I'll be pretty much writing for 8 weeks straight. As for this channel, I have many more adventures coming up, but you see them next time. Thanks for watching, bye!